Hello, everybody. This is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am. The NFL is starting to come to a little bit of a part of the season where teams are showing you who they really are. The good teams are coming out and they're swinging their best shots and they're winning the games they should be winning and they're making the plays they should be making and they're putting themselves in the positions they should be putting themselves in. And the bad teams are kind of floundering. And right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are doing all of the right things. They have won 25 straight regular season games in November and December over the last several years since Patrick Mahomes has been there. And they just continue to dominate. They continue to impress. And I was so very wrong about them, picking them to finish last in that supposedly loaded division.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Both West divisions were supposed to be ridiculously good, while both East divisions were supposed to be fairly top-heavy, with a good team on top, and then not much else to show for it. Both East divisions have been fantastic, with both West divisions being abysmal, with the exception of the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the one outlier in all the West divisions. You could argue Seahawks and Niners, but they haven't been nearly as consistent as the Kansas City Chiefs have been. They now sit in first place in the AFC. They're running away with their own division, a 3-game lead in their division, as well as sweeping the Chargers, the only team that really had any kind of a glimmer of a hope to catch them. They're now 3 games back, and they got swept. So it's more of a they have to have a better record than the Chiefs, which is not going to happen. The Kansas City Chiefs, to finish up their schedule, have to host the Rams, then go to Cincinnati, then go to Denver, then go to Houston, and then host Seattle, and then host Denver, and then go to Las Vegas. I know the Raiders game was a close game the first time they played, but they are better now. The Raiders are floundering. I'm sure the Raiders will give them a fight, but I expect the Chiefs to win once again.
Receiver falls down. There are no flags.
And regardless of it being in Las Vegas, I just don't have confidence in the Raiders to do anything. I know they have enough talent to somehow pull one out of nowhere. So if they want to pull that rabbit out of the hat against the Chiefs in week 18, that would be great for them, and they kind of need that to happen. But right now the Raiders are just a disaster of a team that can't seem to do anything right except beat the Broncos. So there's that, I guess. They get to play the Rams at home. The Rams have had one of the worst offenses in the league. In points for, I believe they are second to last in points for, which is 168 points for. Terrible scoring. Offensive line has been bad. Receivers haven't been as good. Cooper Kupp now injured. Cooper Kupp was really the only bright spot of that offense. Inconsistent running game to pretty much non-existent running game. A bunch of drops. Matthew Stafford has not played even close to his level of play that was expected of him. And the defense, although it's been good, just has not been able to keep their teams in games because their offense can't score. It's been really honestly disappointing and very shocking to watch just how bad the Rams have been. So the Chiefs get to play them at home next week. That's not a free win because no win in the NFL is free. Everyone is fantastic. Everyone's getting paid millions of dollars, and they're all the premier athletes in the league. So this isn't college where OSU is playing some make-believe team out of the middle of nowhere. This is the NFL. Everyone's fantastic, so there's no such thing as a free win. But as long as the Chiefs do what they're supposed to do, the Chiefs will win and they'll dominate the game. That's what I'm expecting them to do. Patrick Mahomes has been the most consistently good quarterback over the last 5 years. Aaron Rodgers had his 2-year stint, but since Mahomes' second year in the league when he started, he's been the best quarterback in the league consistently. Not every year, but consistently throughout that span of time. He's been the best. There's been years where it was Rodgers, but Mahomes was always there, and Mahomes is always in the MVP competition. And then maybe Mahomes had a bad game, like when Rodgers won his MVP in 2020 when they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship. It was neck and neck between him and Mahomes. A lot of people believe Mahomes was still going to win because the Packers had to play the Titans, and Mahomes was playing the Falcons. He'll carve up the Falcons' defense. Rodgers will struggle, and the Titans will control the ball with Derrick Henry. Instead, Rodgers threw 5 touchdown passes, maybe 6 touchdown passes. The offense went off. They torched Tennessee, and Kansas City barely beat Atlanta, but they struggled greatly. And they won, I think, because of a missed extra point or missed field goal. This was several years ago. And Mahomes played poorly. I think he threw 2 or 3 picks. And then the MVP conversation shifted. So we've seen games like that, but every quarterback in the league, the reality is, has had off games.
4th and goal, and he throws short, incomplete.
1st and 10. Mahomes
Intercepted, and that's Taron Johnson.
And what both myself and a lot of people that aren't all in the Mahomes bag have done is we've found those bad games that Mahomes has played, and we've used that against him unlike any other quarterback. And I'm done doing that because it's an inaccurate and unfair narrative that tries to attempt to dethrone Mahomes from what he really is. And what he really is the best quarterback in football, partnered with the best tight end in football, and coached by the best offensive mind in football. Andy Reid's getting older, but he's still a fantastic coach, and he's still an excellent play caller. Eric Bieniemy, I don't know how much of a factor he plays in the offense, to be honest with you, but the entire staff is doing a fantastic job. Whoever's in charge of everything they're doing a spectacular job. The Chiefs are doing everything right. Their defense, a huge factor in the second half. They really locked up the Chargers' offense in the second half. Did not do much of anything. Let up that touchdown late, but the Chiefs' offense immediately answered because that's what the Chiefs do, especially against the Chargers. Travis Kelce had a huge game once again against the Chargers, scoring a game-winning touchdown.
Kelce alone on the right, coming across to the left, on the right, Kelce, touchdown!
Once again against the Chargers, it just keeps happening to the Chargers.
Shy of Otis Taylor. Here is Kelce. Still going. Kelce, good night, touchdown, Chiefs win it.
They can't seem to catch a break, and they can't seem to control Travis Kelce, even when they try and put Derwin James on him. He's the only one that's really effective against them. And then anytime they don't have him, it just all falls apart. Derwin James is a great player, but he had a costly penalty on him. And on that final drive, the Chargers tried to run too high man coverage, a little bit too much. And if you're going to run too high man on back-to-back plays, especially after you just got scrambled on against too high man by Mahomes for a huge gain, and then you decide to do it again, they're just going to go ahead and run a little rub route. Not really a rub route, but kind of an over-under, if you want to call it mesh, where that corner has to take the kind of over-top route to stick with Kelce, and Travis gets a ton of separation and easily scores the game-winning touchdown. It's just poor play calling by the defense, honestly. You can't let them do that back-to-back plays. You can't show the Chiefs what you're running on back-to-back plays, and that's exactly what they did. They said, hey, we're running man coverage with too high safety shell, and then we're going to do it again. And that's just not the way to beat the Chiefs. Mahomes had plenty of time to throw his little dump off, and Kelce did the rest. It's a great play design, great play call by the Chiefs against really just poor defensive play calling by the Chargers. The Chargers just can't seem to get out of their own way week in, week out. Not to mention the fact they're the most injured team in the league, or one of the most injured teams in the league. At that, Mike Williams banged up constantly. He came back, made one catch, and was immediately out for the rest of the game. Keenan Allen was back, and he made some big plays, but the inconsistency has just been glaring for the Chargers. And that's why Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are controlling their division, and that's why the Chiefs are running away with the conference, and the Chiefs are likely going to continue to run away with the conference. After they play the Rams, they go to Cincinnati, and that is by far their most difficult game. And after that, it's really smooth sailing. They have to play the worst scoring offense in the entire NFL, in the Denver Broncos.
1st and 10, Melvin Gordon. Oh, he fumbled again! Robertson's got it, and he's got an entourage by midfield. Got a block by Hobbs, and there he goes! He's got 6! On the fumble by Gordon.
They'll run it with Gordon, pushing ahead, ball is out, and I believe the Broncos were able to get on top of it. It's Quinn Miners rescuing it.
Unless Russell Wilson and that offense figures out how to do anything right, they're going to continue to just roll through the AFC West. Right now, the Chiefs are undefeated in the West, and it's very likely they get a clean sweep 6-0 in that division. It's also likely the 49ers do the same thing in the NFC. I don't think anyone in that division matches up well against them. They own the Rams. They dominated the Cardinals last night. They're going to continue to dominate, and the Seahawks likely aren't going to be able to beat them the second time they play either, unless they can get some run game going, and that's unlikely to happen with the talent the 49ers have defensively. So both West teams are going to both West divisions, I should say, are both going to kind of fall to the red teams, the Chiefs and the 49ers. But this one's mostly about the Chiefs and the Chiefs' dominance that has been absolutely spectacular. Since they lost to Buffalo, they have won 4 straight games, and they've been dominant in most of those games. They lost to Buffalo by 4, and then after that, they kill the 49ers, beating them by 21, 44-23. They barely beat the Titans. That was their tough game. That was their struggle game. The Titans defense played exceptionally, and honestly, the Titans probably deserved to win that game more than the Chiefs, and if they had done so, the Titans would be the 1 seed. The Titans are a underrated team. They had the 31st ranked offense going into last Thursday night game against the Packers. They put up 27 points. Their offense is looking healthier, and their offense was very productive against a talented Packers defense, although it's kind of been in disarray all year. And success against the Packers defense doesn't really mean much, as they've struggled on and off all season long. Ryan Tannehill looked better than he has, and that's an important thing to acknowledge if you're a Titans fan. But the Titans, the reality is, they're not really going anywhere in the playoffs. When you have to play better defenses, they're going to show up. Teams like the Ravens, teams like the Chiefs, the Bengals, again, like they beat them last year. The focus is really on Kansas City, and they're going to continue to run away with everything they got going on in the AFC the rest of this season. I would not be shocked if they don't lose a single game to close out the year. And if they lose one game, so be it. They'll still win the conference. I'm 14-3 looks really nice right about now. And 10-7 could not have been more wrong. So props to the Chiefs, props to Andy Reid, Mahomes, the entire coaching staff, all of the offensive players that have filled in nicely. Juju Smith-Schuster was showing out. He was producing at a much higher level before his concussion. Everything has just looked so much better than a lot of people anticipated, and the smart ones were the ones that knew Andy Reid's a fantastic coach, Patrick Mahomes is a fantastic quarterback, and they're going to be just fine. Steve Spagnuolo always seems to get the defense figured out by late season. The defense always gets hot at the exact right time, and the Chiefs always just seem to put everything together right at the exact right time, late in the regular season. That's what the good teams did. That's what the most recent dynasty did. Tom Brady with the Patriots. They would struggle early. They would kind of get slowly better throughout the season. And then by November and December, they were dominant every single year. That translated to AFC Championship appearances and Super Bowls. And now we're seeing the Chiefs doing the exact same thing. That's what the great teams do. That's what the great teams do year after year after year. The Chiefs are doing it now. They've been doing it. Like I said earlier, 25 straight wins in November and December in the regular season. They're going to keep rolling. 14-3 is my prediction to finish out the season, because it's very possible they rest their starters in the Week 18 game versus the Raiders. If they win out, they will have clinched the first round bye by that time. That's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I upload on YouTube. I'm posting content as well on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow me at The Pocket Passer. One of my videos on Instagram got 22K views. That was awesome. About 1,500 likes. Thank you all so much if any of you supported that video. I gained a couple followers on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you follow me on here, feel free to follow me over there if you want to see more content. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you in the next video.